AGT champion and winner of $1 million, Richard Goodall!
What if the man sweeping your school hallway had a voice powerful enough to shake the world? What if fame knocked on his door and he just smiled, waved, and went back to work? This is the true story of Richard Goodall, the quiet janitor who stunned America on national TV and then did something that nobody expected. Get ready, because his next chapter might just be the most unbelievable yet. Richard Goodall was never chasing the spotlight. He was a school janitor in Terre Haute, Indiana. His days were filled with cleaning classrooms, emptying trash cans, and offering a kind word to kids. But behind that humble smile was a powerful voice most people didn't expect. Students at his school already knew. They'd hear him singing as he worked, soft tunes that floated through the halls. It was common for students to stop and listen. His voice brought peace to the school. But the rest of the world had no idea until he stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2024. When he sang Journey's Don't Stop Believin', everything changed. Judges stared, the crowd exploded. Simon Cowell looked amazed, and then, boom, the golden buzzer. Richard was going straight to the live shows. That moment launched him into the spotlight. But what followed was even more magical. Richard sang in round after round, songs filled with emotion, truth, and heart. There were wild acts that season. A dog act named Ronnie Sagi that made tails wag. A high-energy drone group called Sky Elements that lit up the sky. But Richard, he just stood there, holding the mic with both hands, eyes closed, pouring his heart out. His performances felt like warm memories, like a hug through the screen. People felt like he was singing just for them. His voice wasn't just strong, it was familiar, like an old friend. And in the summer of 2024, America voted. Richard Goodall won Season 19 of America's Got Talent. Most AGT winners disappear into the world of stardom. They sign contracts, tour cities, appear on magazine covers. Richard, he chose something different. In January 2025, he appeared on the Tell Us About Yourself podcast with Chris Carrion. Listeners couldn't believe what he said. He was still working as a school janitor. That's right, the same job, same school, same town. As Richard said, never at any point did I ever have any aspirations to perform. I mean, I've always wanted to perform, but it's never been a drive of me to be famous or be noticed. It's more of a music and people thing than a, hey, here I am, notice me type thin. He added about staying at his job. It's something he couldn't see himself not doing at the end of the day. What shocked fans the most was that he had the opportunity to walk away. But he didn't. He returned to his mop, his keys, his hallway, and to the students who never saw him as just a janitor but as someone special. He sings to connect, not to shine. To him, music is like a photograph. Each song is a time capsule. It can take someone back to a moment they forgot, a first dance, a lost friend, a happy day. That's what music means to Richard. Not the money, not the spotlight, just people and memories. He wants each note to matter, each lyric to touch someone's life. Even while working full-time, Richard is slowly building a music career. He performs at local venues and small gigs. He's been invited to sing at community centers, charity events, and even some high-profile functions. Like, he doesn't have an album yet, but more and more people are noticing him. His fan base is growing. Some people are even calling for him to go on tour. He's met with producers and fellow musicians. He's recording new material, but true to his nature, he's doing it on his own terms. No rush, no pressure, just the love of the craft. Still, Richard won't rush. If it's something that you love and you're passionate about, you have to make time. Each song that I sing is a time capsule into people's lives. It takes you back to a certain point in time. That's what all of this is about, he said. And that's exactly what he's doing. So what does it really mean to be a star? Is it being on a billboard, or is it staying true to yourself when the whole world tells you to change? Richard never tried to become someone else. He didn't get a makeover. He didn't fake anything for the cameras. And maybe that's why people trust him. He reminded us that greatness isn't loud. It's honest. It's kind. And sometimes it comes with a name tag and a mop. Richard knows that his life is changing, and one day he might have to hang up the janitor uniform and step onto a bigger stage. More people are calling. More offers are coming in. Fans are waiting. Could we see a debut album in 2025? A tour? Maybe a documentary? Nothing's official yet, but Richard is keeping the door open. And if his schedule allows, maybe one day he'll take his voice to places far beyond Indiana, Vegas, Nashville, maybe even Broadway. Anything is possible. Richard's journey reminds us that talent can come from anywhere. A school, a hallway, a man with a quiet voice and a kind heart. He didn't change to become a star. Instead, his kindness, humility, and gift for music made the world stop and listen. He's not just a singer. He's a symbol, a reminder that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. He represents all the voices that haven't been heard yet, all the hidden talents. He tells us that it's never too late, and you're never too small. Richard Goodall didn't stop believing. He believed in music, in people, in staying true to who you are. Before you go, drop a comment below. What surprised you most about Richard's story? And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss an inspiring journey like this one. Not everyone who wins a trophy wins at life, but Richard, he might just be winning at both. So next time you hear someone humming in the background or see someone doing a quiet job with care, look a little closer. Because greatness doesn't always wear glitter. Sometimes it carries a broom. And Richard, he's just getting started.
What was your dream?
I thought I would do something, with animals. Probably be, who knows? I mean, I was a waitress / I worked at a tanning salon.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just moved to the big city of Vancouver off the island. Even that people don't really leave the island a lot. So that was a brave move of mine, and I didn't know what was going to happen. It was my first plane ride when I went to Los Angeles.
From Baywatch bombshell to barefaced revelation, the woman who once defined Hollywood glamour now rejects it entirely. Pamela Anderson's transformation isn't just physical, it's revolutionary. Who cares about lighting? Just be free. These aren't words you'd expect from a woman whose image was meticulously crafted for decades. But at 57, Pamela Anderson has done the unthinkable in an industry obsessed with youth and perfection. She's embraced her natural self, completely makeup-free, and that's just the beginning of what she's revealed. The world did a double take when Pamela Anderson appeared at Paris Fashion Week completely makeup-free. No foundation, no mascara, nothing. But the real shock wasn't her bare face. It was the profound decision behind it. I was at Paris Fashion Week getting ready for 3 hours in hair and makeup, Anderson revealed, and I thought, I just really want to go to the Louvre. I want to see Paris. Who am I competing with? Why am I doing this? In that pivotal moment, Pamela made a choice that would send ripples through the beauty industry. She simply walked out au naturel. The response blindsided her. Women stopped her on the street with gratitude. Mothers introduced their daughters. See this woman. In our filter-obsessed culture, Pamela's authenticity resonated deeply. What most don't realize is that this wasn't merely about skipping makeup. This moment represented the culmination of a 4-year journey of self-discovery that began when she retreated from Hollywood completely. Behind the headlines about her new look was a woman who had been quietly rebuilding herself away from the spotlight, rediscovering who she truly was beneath the decades of carefully crafted image and expectation. While Hollywood buzzed about Pam and Tommy, the Hulu series that exploited a painful chapter of her life without consent, the real Pamela Anderson was undergoing a profound transformation far from the spotlight. She wasn't hiding from the world, she was healing herself. My garden saved me, she revealed. 3 or 4 years ago, I moved back home and renovated my little vegetable farm. I was renovating myself too. This wasn't a celebrity retreat, it was a homecoming. The woman once defined by red swimsuits and magazine covers traded glamour for growth, literal growth. She cultivated vegetables instead of her image, finding unexpected peace in the soil of her childhood home. During this period of quiet renewal, Anderson spent her days making pickles, writing a cookbook, and reconnecting with the earth. The industry that had typecast and exploited her for decades became increasingly irrelevant to her daily existence. In her garden, she wasn't Pamela Anderson, the icon. She was simply Pamela, digging, planting, and flourishing away from judging eyes. She might have continued this peaceful existence indefinitely, content with her homegrown life, until a script arrived that would change everything. When director Giacopola sent Anderson the script for The Last Showgirl, it initially didn't even reach her. Her agent rejected it within an hour. What the public doesn't know is how the script finally found its way to her, through her son Brandon, and her reaction. "This is mine. I've got to do this." The parallels were uncanny. The film follows Shelley Gardner, an aging Las Vegas showgirl who faces the end of her career when her long-running show is shut down. Like Pamela, Shelley is underestimated, discounted, and fighting to take her power back. "I had so much empathy for Shelley. I fell in love with her," Pamela revealed. "It's a very touching and beautiful story that isn't exploitative towards women." But the most shocking part? Pamela Anderson, the woman written off as just a pretty face for decades, delivered a performance so powerful it earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress. The actress, who many assumed couldn't string a full sentence together, was suddenly being mentioned alongside the industry's most respected performers. As she put it with characteristic candor, having nothing to live up to is kind of a good position to be in. You can surprise anybody, even with a full sentence. You're genius. The success of The Last Showgirl brings to light an uncomfortable truth. Hollywood has systematically underestimated Pamela Anderson for decades. And she wasn't the only one. "I underestimated myself too," she admitted. "You've got to believe in yourself for others to believe in you." When asked why she thinks she was underestimated for so long, director Giacopola explained what many in the industry won't openly acknowledge. Being a beautiful woman, you get typecast in a way. What's truly shocking is how the industry treats women as disposable, both young and aging. Pamela describes auditioning for roles where men look through you, not seeing you as a performer, but as some widget that he can either plug into his production or not. Yet, even at 57, Pamela refuses to back down. In one powerful scene in the film, her character defiantly states, "I'm 57 and I'm beautiful." That's not just acting. That's Anderson reclaiming her narrative. Perhaps the most surprising revelation from Pamela Anderson is that she sees this not as the end of her journey, but the beginning. "I've always wanted to be an actress," she shared. "I'm really happy that I get to do that." After decades in the spotlight, Pamela is finally being recognized for her talent rather than her image. Her Golden Globe nomination, SAG Award nomination, and her prominent role at this year's BAFTA Awards all signal a new chapter. And it's not just her acting career that's flourishing. Her cookbook, I Love You: Recipes from the Heart, reveals another side of Pamela, a thoughtful, nurturing home cook passionate about plant-based cuisine. "I just feel like the stars are aligning and the dots are connecting," she reflected. For a woman who has weathered countless storms in the public eye, from invasive media coverage to exploitative portrayals, her lack of bitterness is perhaps the most shocking revelation of all. "I don't look at any relationship as a failure," she says of her much-publicized love life. What is a failure? Is it a failure to stay in a relationship that isn't good for you? At 57, Pamela Anderson has shed more than just makeup. Free from Hollywood's expectations and her own limiting beliefs, she's experiencing what she candidly calls the best time in my life. "I feel so strong, I feel so excited and inspired," she shares, her words carrying undeniable authenticity. Perhaps the most surprising revelation is the simplest. "I am me. I'm more me than I've ever been." This isn't the typical Hollywood comeback story of reclaiming former glory. Anderson isn't trying to resurrect her younger self or chase relevance. Instead, she's finally stepping into the spotlight as her authentic self, a woman who has weathered storms and emerged with hard-won wisdom. By embracing her natural beauty and pursuing roles with substance, Anderson isn't just rewriting her own narrative. She's challenging our collective assumptions about beauty, aging, and reinvention. "Feel the fear and do it anyway," she advises. That's how you grow. In an industry built on artifice and youth obsession, Anderson's journey reminds us that true transformation isn't about changing who you are. It's about becoming more fully yourself. For Pamela Anderson, this growth has just begun, and the world is watching with newfound respect.
Obviously, with any type of cancer, the earlier it's detected, the best chance for treatment and potentially a cure. I think from all indicated reports, her cancer was caught at a relatively later stage.
And we've heard these stories about her going to Germany to seek alternative treatments. What do we know anything about that?
They weren't as fringe as they were made to appear. They were chemotherapy injected into tumors for all indicated reports.
In the glittering world of Hollywood, where stars rise and fall like the California sun, one golden-haired icon faced her final battle away from the cameras that once adored her. Farrah Fawcett, the woman whose smile captivated millions, whose feathered locks launched 1,000 salon appointments, and whose red swimsuit poster adorned more walls than perhaps any image in history, fought her last fight not against fame's fleeting nature, but against a merciless enemy that cared nothing for her celebrity: cancer. What really happened in those final days? The truth is both more heartbreaking and more inspiring than most realize. Born in Texas in 1947, Farrah skyrocketed to fame in 1976 with her role as Jill Monroe on Charlie's Angels and that iconic red swimsuit poster that became the best-selling pinup of all time. Despite leaving the show after just one season, her cultural impact was indelible. While her post-Angels career had ups and downs, from critical flops like Somebody Killed Her Husband to powerful performances in The Burning Bed, Farrah remained in the public eye through her decades-long relationship with actor Ryan O'Neal and their son, Redmond. The diagnosis that changed everything. In September 2006, at 59 years old, Farrah Fawcett appeared to be the same golden-haired beauty who had captivated America for decades. She had just made a triumphant public appearance, reuniting with her Charlie's Angels co-stars Kate Jackson and Jaclyn Smith to honor legendary producer Aaron Spelling. But away from the cameras and the adoring fans, Farrah was suffering. "My body is just killing me," she confided to close friends. Initially, she suspected food poisoning from bad spinach, a simple explanation for her increasing fatigue and discomfort. The truth was far more devastating. Doctors delivered the crushing diagnosis: anal cancer. Though relatively rare, affecting about 8,300 Americans yearly, this form of cancer is often treatable when detected early, with a 5-year survival rate of approximately 67%. For Farrah, however, the grim news came too late. Her cancer was already in an advanced stage, significantly diminishing her chances of recovery. Farrah faced her diagnosis head-on, immediately beginning aggressive chemotherapy and radiation treatments. "I'm going to bite the bullet and fight the fight," she declared with characteristic determination. At first, her courage appeared rewarded. In February 2007, just 5 months after her initial diagnosis, doctors delivered the news everyone had hoped for: Farrah was cancer-free. The victory celebration lasted mere months. During a routine follow-up exam in May 2007, doctors discovered a malignant polyp. The cancer had not only returned, but had spread to her liver. The diagnosis was devastating. Stage 4 terminal cancer, leaving Farrah facing the fight of her life. Farrah traveled to Frankfurt, Germany, seeking alternative treatments not available in the United States. There, she underwent chemoablation, direct injection of chemicals into affected organs, along with laser ablation and high doses of immune-boosting vitamins. These experimental treatments, administered by Professor Thomas Vogel and Dr. Ursula Jacob, were controversial. Many oncologists questioned using laser ablation for patients with Farrah's advanced cancer, noting it was typically used only for pain relief in terminal cases. Through it all, Farrah made another crucial decision: to document everything. Farrah wanted to show the world what the face of cancer really looked like, explained her best friend Alana Stewart, who filmed even the most agonizing moments of Farrah's battle. The footage captured Farrah vomiting, writhing in pain, clutching her rosary and begging for relief. At one point, while violently ill, she looked up and asked Alana why she wasn't filming. Her mission was clear: break down society's walls of silence around cancer's brutal reality. Perhaps most revealing was Farrah's decision to decline standard surgical treatment that would have removed both her anus and rectum, leaving her with a colostomy bag. It was an option she wasn't willing to pursue, preferring quality of life over potentially prolonging it. The documentary that shocked America. In May 2009, just 1 month before her death, NBC aired Farrah's Story, chronicling her cancer battle. Nearly 9 million viewers watched as the once glamorous sex symbol appeared frail, her famous blonde hair fallen out in clumps. The contrast was stark and deliberate. This was a woman whose hairstyle had been imitated by millions who had represented the pinnacle of beauty. Now she allowed cameras to capture her at her most vulnerable, bald, in agony, and fighting for every breath.